They did it, and now we know the last two opponents. We know it's FlyQuest on the one side, TSM on the other. Liquid must choose one.
Yep. Choose your opponent, Team Liquid. You gonna stay true to Steve's tweets, or are you gonna go with the higher percentage chance?
The higher percentage chance, I think, is certainly not picking TSM. They do look very good. They also 2-0'd TL during the regular season, so that is one thing you, I think, have to have in the back of your mind as well.
Yeah, it definitely does play into it. We had that interesting thing at the top of the bracket here where TSM were unable to beat Cloud9. However, Team Liquid were unable to beat TSM, so that's what they want to avoid, and that's what we expect to happen later on and next weekend.
Yep, no matter who they play, it'll be an exciting fight for TSM in the semifinals for a shot in that final berth. But for more on their victory, let's send it over to the TSM top and jungle for an interview with Riv.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. I'm joined by Akaadian and Broken Blade of TSM as they take down Echo Fox in the quarterfinal matchup. Akaadian, I'd like to start with you. Coming into this match, you guys have been playing so well, and there is so much to prove this season. It's your first playoff match, and you have put in so much work. Semifinals on the horizon. What does this all mean for you?
I think it's just really hype playing playoffs. It's a lot more hype than regular season. So I don't know. I'm just excited to potentially prove that, I don't know, I'm elite, I guess, in LCS, and our team is elite, and I'm just really excited. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Absolutely. The excitement coming through. Broken Blade, you've known to be the heart of the team. You bring so much joy to everyone, and you have proven throughout the season you can play just about anything in the top lane for TSM. What has it meant to you to be a part of the organization coming into this season?
Obviously, it's a really, really big step coming from Turkey to such a big organization such as TSM. And TSM had a winning culture, and last year didn't go well. So this year, I'm going to make them win.
Awesome. Very good. Akaadian, back to you. You said Wrath would be swift. It's been 12-1 since that now. The team, you said they did a lot of great things. We've been coming together, but what for you personally changed to make all of this happen?
I think we just struggled there's like a lot of concepts I think that we struggle with as a team, like different times to play the game, how to play the early game out, how to play the mid game out. And I think the early split helped us. I mean, it sucks to lose, but a lot of the losses helped us create new systems for how we're going to move around, how we're going to look to set up fights, how we're going to just do anything really. So I think that part of the split was pretty important for us because we just changed some of the way we did things. So.
All right, and final question for both of you. Cloud9 is on the horizon for that semifinal matchup. You're going to be up in that top lane versus Licorice. How do you feel about that matchup, Broken Blade?
I mean, obviously, Licorice is a good player, but it's not like I'm going in and say, oh my God, I'm playing against Licorice. Just gonna play my game, and I'm sure it's not hard to beat him. He's just a human too, so yeah.
Akaadian, same question for Svenskeren.
I mean, jungle is not really jungle 1v1. It's more of team diff, so hopefully my team's better that day.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Congratulations on the win. Best of luck in semifinals. And right now, we're going to throw it to Valerie for a perspective from the side of Echo Fox.
Thank you, Riv. I am here with Apollo. Rough series against TSM today, but I do want to start by just asking, is there anything that you'd like to say?
I mean, first off, I think not many people expect us to be here. I'm not really sure why, but I mean, towards the end of the split, obviously it was like a little surprising, but I think we were a playoff level team. So I'm just really proud of everyone on the team, everyone on the coaching staff. And I think we had a really good run, even though we, kind of stopped shortly.
And kind of talking about that run, you did prove a lot of people wrong just by qualifying for playoffs here last week. So what was the entirety of the spring split experience like for you?
It was good. I mean, it wasn't very easy, as you can imagine. We had like a lot of problems, and we weren't really sure how to fix them, I guess. But we kept going, and there was a week there's that point where we're kind of like 0-6. I think we had like a 6 losing streak, and we're like, okay, maybe playoffs is going to be hard, but if we just keep it playing like one game at a time and focus on improving for summer. I think that's kind of where like everything changed, and I think the coaching staff did a really good job of just honing down like what we need to work on and what kind of style that we're going to play, and ended up working well.
And is there anything that you'd like to say to those Echo Fox fans who believed in you guys and are excited to see what you have prepared for summer?
Thank you for believing in us. It was a really fun split. it's obviously, it kind of sucks to, have like those ups and downs, but at the same time maybe it's like better rather than just like breezing your way through to the playoffs, So I'm happy and thankful for the fans that supported us along the way.
Well, I'm excited to see you return in summer. Thank you so much. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm analyst desk.
I mean, hi. What was your approach to playing against this guy? What was your image of Bjergsen versus every other LCS mid laner that you played against?
I would say when I played versus him, I never tried to punish him specifically, especially in lane and or draft. It just would never work out for me. He had too many champions he could play at a high level, and he doesn't tend to make mistakes. But that didn't mean you couldn't beat his team, because he back then wasn't necessarily going to protect his team from losing. He's more concerned about making sure he could hard carry. So I would try to focus my efforts on the other side of the map. But when he's gotten better at that, and his team's also gotten better, it's so much harder to punish him.
And so you think that he's evolved to a point where he's not just looking for those carry moments. He's now diversified his game so he can play the safe way
he
too.
played Lissandra twice. He played Zillion. He early picks his champions. He has a really high warding score. Like, I don't know. There's not much you can say about this guy that would make him be a bad player.
Right, makes sense. That's why we call him one of the best in the game, in the business. For more on their victory, though, Avli is standing by with TSM's owner, Reginald.
Thanks, Dash. I am here with Reggie. Congratulations on the win and moving on to semifinals next week. I kind of want to include everyone else on a conversation we were just having about how this TSM is nothing like any former iterations of the team, and that this is a team that is built to win not only in NA, but almost everywhere else.
Yeah, so, winning in NA is not guaranteed, right? But at the very beginning of the season, when we recruited Tony and when I had a conversation with Parth, we decided that things really needed to change, because even if you look at all our past iterations or all the championships that we have won, a lot of it is winning because we pick late game comps and we scale and we rely on our North American opponents to play bad, right? And when we go to the international stage, we pick to scale and we pick to you play for late game, and a lot of our games end really early. And what we decided was we wanted to go with a more versatile play style, one that will win if we play well and we execute well, and one that will lose if we don't, right? Whereas in North America, if you look at the win records, most teams that pick stronger late game comps tend to win because their counterparts throw. And it was really difficult for us and really challenging for us because, the first half of the split, we were not a versatile team. We wanted to be, but we couldn't really play well, so we got outscaled and we lost a lot of the games. I do think that moving forward, if we can continue to execute and play really well, we will be able to win in North America and do well on the international stage. And I think with that mindset, we're going to make North America a lot better. I personally think that, like other teams in North America that are still suffering from focusing on like the late game scaling comps, they're gonna do really bad on the international stage if they make it. We still have a lot to work with. We need to really improve on that. But I'm overall really happy with what Tony has done to the team. There are some flaws and some mistakes, but at the end of the day, they've really changed the way TSM has played, and we're really a different team, a different organization now.
Now, I'm very excited to see how TSM performs on the international stage. But before you get there, you got to get through semis, and then you got to get through finals. And at the beginning of the day, Steve tweeted that he was going to choose TSM to move into semis, but I think he chickened out because he ended up choosing Cloud9. What do you think of that? Excuse me, FlyQuest.
Yeah, so I think that, FlyQuest is actually really, really good. They're a lot better than what they showed yesterday. So there's going to be a tough match there, and it might not necessarily be Liquid that we play if we do beat Cloud9. But personally, for Team Liquid, I do think that was a wise decision for them because they have a lot to work on. They have a singular one-dimensional playstyle, and it's really not going to work on the international stage, and it might not work against FlyQuest if they don't start working really hard to change that.
So then what do you think about your semifinal match against Cloud9?
I think Cloud9 particularly, they did really well against us this season. What you saw in the matches, though, is Cloud9 didn't really do much to punish our mistakes, but a lot of the mistakes that we made by choosing to pick the wrong fights, right? Where you can judge a good team's play is if they force mistakes, if they force another team to be in a position where they're uncomfortable, where they have to make a mistake. A lot of our throws against Cloud9 was when we actually had a big gold lead where we chose the wrong fights, right? So I think it's going to be really challenging for Cloud9 to beat us if we've been playing the way we play. And I do think it's going to really be a tough match, though, because Cloud9 has always been a solid team. They do have the 2-0 record over us. Honestly, I think it's going to be a really hard match, and I have the confidence that we'll win it.
Well, Reggie, thank you so much for your insight and wishing you the best of luck in that match.